All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
The Big Mig.
Well, welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Of course, I'm your host with Lance Miliaccio and my co-host, George Ballantine. Rise and grind, edge of the knife, baby. It's how we do it. George B., good morning. Are you ready to drop some truth bombs, buddy? Are you ready to go all in? How is it?
I am. We're on there. I'm looking at it. Let me see. AV is good. Live is good. I see us in Rumble. We're good. Quality's not that good. I don't know why, but still fuzzy.
Well, you know, always working through. Rumble's putting in some new systems, so we're beta testing.
This is not new.
Oh, I thought this was the new. I thought this was the new beta test.
This is not the new bit. No.
Well, you know what this show is all about: kill them with the truth and bury them with a smile. If you like the show, don't forget to thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out tomorrow morning. You definitely want to check out the #1 crypto show on Rumble, the Crypto Power Hour. You want to learn crypto from the bottom up. We have education pieces. We have advanced information. You name it, newbie or advanced, that's the place to be for crypto on Rumble. Appreciate everything those guys are doing for us. Don't forget Rumble Premium with Perplexity. Definitely want to give these guys your support. They're doing a great job. It's one of the few places you don't really have to worry about what you say. You know, and that's really what America's all about, right? That's what the First Amendment allows you to do. And this is one of the few platforms that doesn't penalize you even after they say they're not going to. Did you ever get your TikTok account back, George? Did that ever turn around?
No, ain't happening.
Wow. Crazy. Unbelievable. You had a pretty decent count going over there too. Wasn't it growing and monetized and everything?
It was. And you're bringing it up now for what reason, by the way?
Oh, no.
Are you trying to put me in a bad mood right now? Really?
I was talking about free speech. I wasn't trying to
man.
put you in a bad mood. George, I don't ever want to put you in a bad mood. All right. Well, listen, let's kick it off. If you like the show, info@thebigmig.com. Hit us up if you'd like to sponsor the show. We're always looking for great sponsors for good products for our client base. All right. Gold and silver, still rocking and rolling. You know, we always add it to our portfolio. Not financial advice, just good sound advice. This is a 62.2 gram prepper bar, perforated and easily broken down to your choice of 3 separate denominations. See, when I tilt it, you just break off a small piece to make a payment. What's it for? Asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, diversification, or of course, it's extremely unique utility for barter and trade. Prepper bar is unique. You can't walk around with a 1 ounce gold coin unless you got some place to chop it up. I mean, at the end of the day, if you got to make a payment of the dollar at $40 trillion in debt, I still don't see this administration paying our debt down. I don't know what the game plan is for that. Just in case, have a few of these in the sock drawer, maybe in the gun safe. You know, listen, they come with an assay report, so no counterfeit gold. And there is a crap load of counterfeit gold coming out of eBay right now. I just read another article about it. They're seeding these bars. They're hard to tell. And they're just bringing them in from China and India, and they're passing them off as the real deal. So be careful. The guys at Genesis Gold Group have decades in the business. You can do your IRA in gold and silver. You can just make regular investment, or you can buy some prepper bars, exclusively mined and minted here in the great US of A. And they're always selling out fast. They've got them in stock, though. They just got to restock in both. So head over there. Head to thebigmigbar.com. That's right, thebigmigbar.com. Use all caps prepper, PREPPR. That's PREPPR. That'll get you 10% off on the silver, 5% off on the gold. Or you can call 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154, or use the QR code. George makes it easy. Just take a snapshot, go there after the show, but don't go there now. That's it, baby. Thebigmigbar.com.
Yep. You want me to sing? Break me off a piece of that prepper bar.
I thought you might go a cappella there for a minute.
I was thinking, I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking right now. I'm just looking at, I don't get it. I'm looking at the Rumble screen where everybody's viewing it, and it's coming out like, I can see it's fuzzy. I don't know. You guys see it's fuzzy? Let me know in the comments. But what I'm sending out to them is crystal clear.
Yeah, no doubt.
So shit like that, it just aggravates the fuck out of me, and I just want to break the goddamn screen. But look at the shirt.
Yeah, that's George's OCD. What is that? What is
God
going on
over
there?
all things, baby.
Wait, what is that?
Go. God over all things.
I like it. Where did that come from? That looks new. I don't think have I seen that before?
It is new. Yes.
You getting more swag in the stat. Where'd it come from? Did anybody in particular? Did the guys over at?
No, it didn't come from anybody. No, he didn't. By the way, not yet.
Nothing yet. Okay, I just wanted
everybody. It's fuzzy. They're telling me it's fuzzy.
All right. Heavy topic today. On this show, let me say this because we get some liberals who watch the show, and I appreciate they give us an opportunity. Conservative values. That's how we believe on this show. But I keep saying it. Ineffective, miserable group of uniparty there in Washington, D.C., Congress. Look, I'm not going to disagree. There are policies on both sides of the aisle that make a little bit of sense, but very little sense. And the American public appears to agree. Less than 15% approval rating. I'm calling it DC's most hated club. And today, top 10 reasons we hate the scum in Congress, both sides of the aisle. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about all of them. We're going to talk about why and what triggered this. They always talk about they're going to be transparent and they want, of course, they've been after Donald Trump and the DOJ about the transparency in Epstein. But talk about the pot calling the kettle black, George. So first of all, 15% approval rating. I don't know if that's the lowest in history, but that's sure a pile of shit. You ought to get fired for that alone. And of course, these are lying, self-enriching, low integrity swamp scum. That's what they are. I'm not saying there aren't a couple of good ones, just like when I talk about the judiciary, there are some good judges around the country. I actually happen to know a few of them. There are a couple of them that definitely leave their bias at the door and they just follow the law. And I'll give them credit for it. It's probably an uphill. It's probably like a salmon going upstream when you're in the judiciary and you're not going to go along with the status quo. I'm not saying it's the Supreme Court. I'm just saying individual judges that seem to want to really abide by the law. And then there are the rest of them. And the same thing with the DOJ and especially with Congress. So Congress, listen to this closely. If you guys are just tuning in on one of our podcast channels, Spotify or others, make sure you follow us. We're on every major podcast channel so far. Nobody's banned us yet. Congress just voted. Listen to these numbers, George. 357 to 65. So they can shield their own sexual predators and perverts. Yeah, you heard me right. Taxpayers foot the bill for secret settlements. That's right. They're paying them off while these scum hide their dirt and brutal, I guess, behavior. Talk about hypocritical POS liars. And you're talking about Democrats and Republicans. This isn't selective. It wasn't like the Democrats only. It is both. And I want to also point out the people that voted yes to go ahead and release this were Democrats and Republicans. They were from both sides of the aisle. Of course, the people that weren't guilty, the people that didn't have payoffs made. So this just happened yesterday. So these unethical traitors in both, the Republicans and the Democrats, overwhelming vote, forcing the ethics committee. This comes from Representative Nancy Mace. And they're attacking Nancy Mace right now. They're saying that she's, and I'm sure this is because of this. They're trying to say she's spending too much on her personal expenses, that she didn't have expenses to justify. I guess in Congress, just I never knew this, by the way. I always said I thought they were underpaid because they have to have the 2 sets of housing and everything. Well, I guess they get reimbursed for their housing in D.C. up to a certain amount.
They do?
No, if you spend too much, they get there's up to $9,500 a month, George. They get reimbursement for expenses. I don't know what's allowed in it. I didn't review the whole thing, but I know now that part of their housing could be subsidized through that up to a certain point. Now they're complaining about Nancy Mace, so they're going after her, but she wanted to have them release all the reports on sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, and inappropriate staff relations. And the victims would be redacted. She wanted it all released so the public could see who were the real lowlifes, because they're all over there, Epstein. And I agree with the transparency on Epstein. We've been talking about Epstein, even though the administration doesn't want us to talk about it. I don't give a shit. I know George doesn't give a shit. My argument is that why do they think they should even be allowed to hide this? Why do we have to put it to a vote when your money is paying these settlements? Now, for example, here's one just for you. I guess Representative Tony Gonzalez, he's a Republican from Texas. He sent explicit sexual messages to one of his former staffers, Regina Santos Aviles, who later died by suicide. I guess she was the woman that I guess burned herself to death, self-immolation. And that was in September of 25. Now, he admitted the affair in March 4th, calling it a lapse in judgment because the Ethics Committee launched a probe into potential rule violations. But both parties' leaders claimed transparency would chill the victims from coming forward. And you listen to this? Even though they want to redact the victims, their bullshit excuse is that if they know it's going to be released, the victims are going to not want to come forward. We got to protect the victims. No, that's not what it is. Come on. Do you really think a victim's not going to come forward, especially if their name's going to be redacted? So they're colluding to cover up predators. They want to keep all these taxpayer-funded settlements hidden, which I guess that's all paid, via the Office of Congressional Workplace Rights. That's who puts the money out, the Office of Congressional. So you can't find out why they're putting this money out right now. We don't know who did it. We don't know who's a creep and who isn't. Well, we kind of know who's a creep now. We know the 357 are probably creeps, and the 65 that voted yes are the non-creeps. So you might want to look that list up. It was too many names to give you. I saw Lauren Boebert on the non-creep list, which I really thought that was great. But look, these are the same crooks talking about the Epstein files and how they have to be released.
Are you taking my line that I posted on freaking X and stuff and True Social, bro? You're taking my line, aren't you?
No.
Yes, you are.
Man, what was your line? Go ahead, give it to the audience. What was your line?
By the way, I went off on Facebook, True Social for the
because of this?
For the last 2-3 days with Dune.
I didn't even read your post.
With Dune and Ken Paxton and Cornine and everything, telling Trump not to do that stuff. But first of all, you had 78 female Democrats in Congress that blocked the release of the sexual misconduct reports. 78.
Shame on them.
Same 78 bitches that are yelling about Epstein.
Yeah.
They're the loudest voices that were screaming, release the Epstein files, all voted to, now this is in general, all of them, just voted to bury the sexual harassment files of the members of Congress. If that doesn't tell you uniparty, I don't know what the fuck does. Excuse my language. It's kind of upset. It's just crazy.
Why shouldn't the audience be upset? You guys are paying harassment and who knows what else, claims that have been filed against. First of all, I don't even know why we're paying this. Why should we pay for something they're doing that's, in my opinion, not part of what their job description is? I don't want to pay congressional members to have sex with interns or affairs or send dick pics or whatever the hell they're doing. That's not what they're supposed to be doing for me in Congress. I'm trying to get them to pass the acts that are going to protect our voting rights and are going to fix our election system, but they don't want to do that. But when it comes to their own perversions, when they get caught, they don't want the American public to know that. Now, if you guys don't think this is absolutely awful, if you do think it's awful, I suggest you call your congressional members today, and I'd leave them a scathing message. Something like, you perverted fucking scumbags, not voting to pass this, covering it up. That's why America hates you. Because I got to say something. You're going to see how Mason, and she's right. I think with a 15 or less % approval rating, and some people are saying it's less than 10%, that means all of us. That means liberals, the nonpartisans, the conservatives. That means we're all thinking the same thing about Congress. Georgia said it. 1776 maybe is relevant here. We should vote them all out, or we should just maybe start from scratch and say, you know what, we don't like the job you did. Everybody in Congress is fired. We're going to start from scratch. We think you guys all suck. So let's play this from Mace. And I think what she says here is so accurate. You guys think it's accurate? Join in the chat. You say it's accurate. And your job today, I'm not even going to ask you to post a live link. I'm not going to ask you to support the show any more than I did in the very beginning. Your job today is to call up and leave a message for him and tell him this is why America hates you. You guys are lying, cheating, philandering, perverted scumbags. I think everybody should call their congressional members. I'm going to do it. I'm going to call all of them, and I'm going to leave a message on the voicemail because they never answer anyway. I'm going to leave a message and tell them that they're perverted, lying, cheating scumbags, and that's why the entire country hates them. All right, go ahead. Let's play the clip first.
Hold up. Now, this is Lauren Boebert talking, not Mace. Here we go. I had to correct that. All right.
I'm absolutely disgusted that we couldn't even get to 50 members of Congress who want immediate transparency. Don't we all campaign on transparency? Don't we all go out and tell the American voters that we are leaders and that we are going to get justice for them, that we are going to do right by them? And then we hire their daughters to come work for us, and your tax dollars, millions and millions of dollars, has been used in this slush fund as hush money to silence victims who have been sexually harassed, sexually abused by members of Congress. And then Congress is going to do exactly what it does best, investigate itself. And we know that none of that ever goes anywhere. The American people demand transparency. And this doesn't just pertain to a ranch in Arizona or New Mexico or an island down in the Virgin Islands. This is happening right here in our nation's capital. And we should be held to the highest standards. And to every member who voted to send this to committee, where you know this was sent to die on the House floor just moments ago, I hope you have a darn good reason to tell your constituents why you were not going to stand up for the victims. And I'm glad that we are doing something about it here in the Oversight Committee. I'm glad that this motion was made here so we actually have another chance at transparency. But again, these are your tax dollars. These are your tax dollars that were used to silence victims. They have been settled with victims. And to the members who voted against this, go home and tell your daughters what you did today. Go home and tell your daughters what happens in the workplace, no matter where it is, in your hometown, in your nation's capital, and tell them what you did to help continue to cover up decades of corruption. I am absolutely in favor of this motion.
Yeah, and I thought we had the clip from Mace. I thought I'd actually saved it. I don't know. My mistake. I thought I'd grabbed the right one. Was that me that grabbed that clip, George, or was that you?
It was me.
I thought I'd grabbed the right clip. I had it saved. Mace came out and said there's a reason that America hates Congress. This is a reason why they all have what they have to say to us. And they're right. Because this is just the pot calling the kettle black. They've been up there, oh, Epstein, because, of course, they're hoping that somehow there's a smoking gun in there against Donald Trump. And so far, I haven't seen anything that proves that. Not that I'm defending Donald Trump at this moment. I'm just saying this is ridiculous. They're paying hush money to these victims, and they don't want you to know about it. Why are we paying it all? If they want to get caught doing what they're doing and harassing anyone, and I don't know, it's probably men and women both. I mean, can you imagine Nancy Pelosi drunk? Who knows what her behavior is like? I'm saying that think about these 357 individuals. They said, oh, no, we don't want to disclose that. Does that mean those 357 are all likely guilty? I have no idea, but this is really hypocrisy. It's greed and it's zero integrity. And, that's what brought me to this list. And I think that it's important that we let them know how we feel. We can do it on the show. We can do it on our social media. You can go into their feeds on social media and tell them that they're lying scum. I recommend you do all of it. Let's just harass them. And if you see them on the street, call them out. Tell them they're lying scumbags. I think we have to make it where they can't go in public at all, that they're cowered down even more, because they're not doing the job we hired them to. This is the most ineffective. They've had less. We're going to go into it here. Let's just start. George, why don't you take number one?
With the list?
Yes, please.
Shit, Lance. Hold on.
Well, I'll go to number one, then you take two. How's that? All right.
Go ahead. Let me finish something.
They're bought and paid for.
Sorry.
I mean, there's no doubt. They sell out to donors. They sell out to super PACs. They sell out to foundations. They sell out to lobbyists. They sell out to special interests. And of course, what do? They prioritize that billionaire cash over voters. That's number one. You guys know it. You've seen the money coming in. I mean, you got these bipartisan senators, including GOP leadership, who snuck in a provision in the November 2025 funding bill, letting themselves sue the government for up to $500,000 and over the January 6th phone records. They don't want you to have the January 6th phone records, right? They don't want you to know that they investigated and did stuff they weren't so, and they violated the law. They don't want you to know any of that. So basically, it's a taxpayer-funded personal windfall grift. And it only got killed after public outrage. So that whole plan was to pass that. Thank God we caught it. But think about just the what they're doing. They don't want to let you know about their sexual, behavior. And they also want to be paid because, the phone records. They're looking for an easy win, not because they want to get integrity. They don't want to fix the DOJ. They don't want to fix the FBI. They just want to get paid. And look at the Dems. Self-enrichment games gorging on their dark money, and they scream about GOP corruption. And then both sides, you got the one group actively doing it, and you got the other group complaining about it, but they're both feasting on all this special interest cash. It's a smorgasbord of grift. It's the craziest thing that somehow we continue to buy into. Oh, it's the Democrats. It's not the Democrats and the Republicans. It's traitors. It's Congress. Imagine if you started changing your dialogue and when you talked about them, you didn't talk Republican or Democrat in your discussions. You got rid of that terminology completely. And you started saying, well, Congress is really scum. It's both sides of the aisle, because it's the truth. Sometimes we make the mistake and we want to just point Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. But here we are, 357 voted to not let you know about things. They tried to pass this thing where they could get a $500,000 check for just nothing. Meanwhile, if you go try to get, let's say you had a criminal charge and it got dismissed and you go try to get some kind of money. Oh, no, you have to have the certificate of innocence. Even if your case was vacated, even if they committed crimes against you. See how difficult it is to file a civil rights case against the federal government. Most attorneys won't even take it unless you're willing to give them a major upfront payment. So that's number one on the hit list.
You want me to do number two?
Oh, yeah. Why not?
All righty then. Number two. We've seen this time and time again, people. They're insider trading, cheats, profiting. What? Off of secret intel that you never have exempt from real rules.
You'll never get it. You'll never get that secret intel.
No. Well, maybe you might be lucky somebody, if they're a close friend with them, but you'll never get it. So they're liars. They trade stocks on committee info. And there's no one better than Nancy Pelosi herself. And they know she's been doing it for how many years? And has there been any consequences to her? None. So I'm going to give you, we go after everybody now. So let me give you a Republican example. We have Rep. Scott Franklin from Florida. He actually sold massive holdings in Baldwin Insurance Group in February 2025. This is after pre-Congress ties. And he was sitting right there on the oversight. He was part of dozens of GOP members that were beating the market in 2025. And it's not made up. It's all there in black and white. Now, Democrat, just look at Pelosi. But you know what? We got more. Rep. Cleo Fields.
And George, I want to point out for the audience, Unusual Whales, the website, is where you can track a lot of this stuff. That's where a lot of this data comes from. Unusual Whales. If you want to look at the insider trading skullduggery, that's where you go. Go ahead.
Thanks. Rep. Cleo Fields from, he's a Democrat, Louisiana. He bought somewhere between 1 million and 5 million in NVIDIA stock in June of 2025. Now, this is all during the tech regs and committee influence. And you had multiple dens, including high performers like Susie Lee, ranking in massive gains on tech and health stocks. You think they just get that lucky? You think because they're in Congress, they have the luck of being good stock traders? Did they ever lose? You don't hear that because you don't see it because they don't. Because they're always winning.
Because they sell before the loss comes in. If the regs change, and they know the regs are going to change, they get right on the phone and they start texting their significant others, like Nancy Pelosi texts her husband, and that's what they do, right? And see, to me, this is again one of those things where if you did it and the SEC find out, you'd already have a criminal case on you. And that's the point. Let's say that your husband worked for a company and he found something amazing coming out. There's an acquisition of another company. And all of a sudden you go out and buy a big block of stock and they find out, you're hit. But no, they get to do it right out in the open, like no big thing, just scamming and jamming. And that's what I think is the awful part about a lot of this. The rule of law. Yeah, you might as well, you know what? I'm going to get some toilet paper. It's going to say the rule of law on it. And that's what I'm going to start wiping my ass with, because the rule of law, it's garbage. We might as well just go full out criminal mode and forget these statutes. Maybe if 335 million Americans all started committing crimes all simultaneously, they wouldn't even be able to handle it. But that's what I mean. They get to do it every single day, no consequences. I mean, these guys are straight up thieves and embezzlers. They're stealing taxpayer money. You saw it with USAID. They're corrupt traders that are, they're pocketing funds that are meant for real help. They're involved with the Somalians. They're involved in the theft in California. Nobody can find the high-speed rail money. I mean, here's the Republicans. They load spending bills with fraudulent earmarks, and they face, there's all these ongoing probes, allegedly. Nothing ever comes from it. And it's just public corruption. It's all campaign slush funds and misuse of campaign funds. You donate, you go want them to get elected. They take the money, they do something else with it. USAID comes out with something and they give it to Chelsea Clinton, or they give it to one of the NGOs of George Soros, and then George Soros funnels it back to them into their campaigns. They make sure that his NGOs are flush. They make sure you suffer. Democrats? Okay, how about Representative Sheila Cherafoulis McCormick? Democrat from Florida. She was indicted in November of 25. You guys probably remember this, for stealing and laundering $5 million in FEMA COVID funds for her campaign. And of course, she went on a personal luxury spending spree like a giant diamond ring. If you guys remember, she tried to Photoshop. George pointed it out on one of the shows. She tried to Photoshop it out of her photo, out of her congressional photo. She's looking at maybe 53 years in prison. I'll bet she'll get some kind of a smoking deal. If you did it, you would have been facing 53. They probably would give you 20. In this case, watch what happens. Pay attention to this case when she gets sentenced. I'll bet you she doesn't get hit as hard as she would, because she's probably saying, I'm going to go public with all the stuff you guys did. And they're probably going to give her some kind of a sweetheart deal.
That's it?
George.
Oh. I'm
taking turns, George, with you. I like to take turns with you, buddy.
I don't even know what the hell we're doing. What are we at?
Well, I'll do this.
Just do the next one. I'm typing something.
So look, you're talking about tribal partisan hacks, obstructionist liars. None of them want to compromise, right? There's always gridlock's a weapon. There's all the, oh no, we're not going to do this, and we're not going to do that. I got Thune doing nothing, No, he doesn't want to do the Phil. Oh, Phil, I don't have any support. What?
What is Thune going to do?
Nothing. So when in a minority, the Republicans, what do? They flip, right? They just jump into whatever. Oh, I better move over here for now, and I better move. Meanwhile, we were supposed to have Congress and the House. Everything was supposed to be great. Oh my God, we won both. Everybody was cheering, right? All that cheering, garbage. We got nothing. It's all brinkmanship, And what do? It's all obstruction of power, right? It's all obstruction for power. They don't want to stop the spending. They don't want to give you legitimate voting. They'll just stand around and huff and puff. And then when the media camera's on them, well, we're going to investigate, or we're going to do this, or we're going to subpoena. Nothing. Garbage. Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries. I cannot stand Obama light. I want to grab him by his ears and give him a headbutt. Honestly, if it was legal, I would. And he's the Democrat from New York. He torpedoed that GOP bill, if you guys remember, in 25 with the shutdown threats over the ACA subsidies and partisan demands. He didn't want to talk about USAID, but neither side budges, right? It's always like this. Oh, it's them. Oh, it's me. Oh, it's who? It's They're pointing all over the planet, but yet it's them. It's the people in Congress. They suck. Do you know this Congress has passed less relevant law than any other Congress in history? That's already in this first year of Donald Trump. That's how much they suck. They can't get anything done.
Lance.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I was looking at the Rumble screen. It's because there's a delay. You're still talking. I didn't hear nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, well, look, they're worthless. It's ineffective, dead weight, and they really accomplish jack shit. They're lazy cheats. They collect $174,000 a year at their base pay. You just heard about how they get to charge for expenses. Who knows what else they've given themselves, and they get nothing meaningful done. Look at the GOP. They're talking about that and they're acting like that they're not at fault for the 2025. This is a record low bill passage period. We've had endless shutdown fights. Oh, we're going to shut down a government. We won't have any funding. Nobody's going to. That shutdown garbage, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these giant bills just stuffed with all this trash. I mean, listen, they can't get any immigration law really passed. They won't support the law that's on the books. There's no economy fixes. It's like total incompetence. I've said it before. I think we need to have an outside agency, not a government agency, an outside group that the American public controls. Then I think these people need IQ tests. I think if they can't pass a certain level of IQ, like you heard Newsom the other day, he said he got an 800 on his SAT's total score. Is he really that stupid? And then he claimed he couldn't read. I mean, if that's actually, and I'm not saying it is true. I think that was him just posturing to get votes from some low-level IQ thinkers, I guess. It's disgusting, right? Newsom would go out and publicly acknowledge he got an 8. How can you get an 800 on the SATs? You got to be some serious kind of a fucking idiot. I mean, unless you just didn't study. I'm not, there are times when people just, I don't care. But my point is ridiculous. The Democrats, I mean, they contributed to all the gridlock, all the stalled infrastructure and immigration reforms, and all they ever do, 0 results. And they're still cashing their checks. You ever notice that they always get paid? Never. Like, I've said it many times. If they can't pass and balance our budget, they shouldn't get paid. Remember, when Congress was set up, that wasn't supposed to be their only job. They were supposed to keep their regular jobs, and when Congress would convene, they would come in from all over the country for a convention. That they get together and they'd pass law, and then they'd go back to their regular jobs. That's what the founders and framers did. These people, though, once they get in, you can't get them out. I mean, I'm happy we're not going to have to see that idiot, Crenshaw ever again. And right now, we won't have to listen to the stupidity of Jasmine Crockett. But now they're talking about all kinds of other stuff she wants to run for. I don't know what's going to happen there. You saw her complaining. She was one of the ones that said, there's no election fraud. There's no first thing out of her mouth. They're cheating. No, they hate you, Jasmine, because you're a moron. And listen, the stupidity in Congress, I'm not saying there aren't some bright people in Congress, but there are a lot of really low IQ bottom feeders. They couldn't get a job at a regular company. They'd be fired because they wouldn't get anything done. So, and it's what we always said, there's zero accountability because, of course, they're protected scum. Their ethic probes are just theater. There's never any punishment. Listen, I don't blame Lauren Boebert for being pissed off. She was on a date. You guys know it. She came out in that video and she was, having some, a behavior with her date. But that was her private time. She didn't do that in Congress. That wasn't an
listen, if I was out with her somewhere like that, I might be doing that to her too. So I can't blame the chick.
Listen, Lauren Boebert's hot. I think she's hot. I get it. I think
it was more because she was smoking weed.
Listen, I don't care what she was
I don't
doing.
know. Maybe she.
But it was in her personal private time. She wasn't going after her interns. She wasn't sleeping with somebody that you're going to foot the bill to keep them quiet. Look at Corey Mills, Republican from Florida. I mean, he's got probes for alleged threats and harassment, Yet self-policing is dragging on forever. If he's guilty, then he should face the consequences. I mean, this is the whole thing. They won't resign. They won't quit. There's no oversight. I mean, talk about a gravy job. You do the shittiest job in the nation. 15% or more of the American public, those are the only people supporting you at this point. The rest of the American public, the other 85%, thinks you suck. Do they get fired? No. Do they resign? No. Do they get forced out? No. And that's the deal. It's so rare that any of that happens. It's like the major exception. And the Democrats, look how many ethics cases are not resolved. There's no transparency, and they're always shielding each other. I don't know how you guys feel in the chat. My thing is that I'm angry about it because this is not what we're paying for. This is not what they're supposed to be doing. They don't give a damn about you guys. They don't give a damn about me, George, anybody, the Big Mig Mafia. They could give a shit less. They're arrogant. They're out of touch with what people are thinking. They're ignoring all the voters' party scripts, right? They're ignoring what we're saying even on social media. We're all asking transparency, accountability, and consequences. They had an opportunity to vote where they could have been transparent on where the sexual harassment cases and who was getting. Nope. No, we're not going to uncover that. So how can they, they always say, and I love it when they go after the J6 committee, the J6ers. Oh, you did, pointing the finger, you were there, blah, blah, blah. All fabricated. Have we seen any arrests? And I blame this administration, to be honest with you. I thought we were going to have massive deep state cleaning from day one. I thought Donald Trump was going to take the acts of justice. We're going to go all of them. Now we hear that they can't even go after Biden. We're going to cover that in a little bit about his auto pen. We can't find any law that's relevant to going after the president for the fake. But what about the fact? What about the fraud? Fraud vitiates everything. How do you have fraudulent signatures on all kinds of alleged presidential action? And you're going to tell me fraud's not enough? Fraud's all over the criminal statutes. I don't see how that's fraud. Where's the authority for Joe Biden to use the auto pen to sign stuff? You show me where the legal authority, show me where Jill Biden has the legal authority by law, by statute.
Now you're jumping the gun.
Stuff, you know? All right. Nancy Mace, predator exposure, but she gets shut down by her own party. She tries to get it done. And look at Ilhan Omar. She's dodging the real constituent threats at town halls while she's pushing all this extreme national agenda. You've seen her screaming and yelling. She definitely violated immigration laws. Why hasn't she been criminally picked up? What the frick is this DOJ doing? George, are they ever going to arrest anybody that's a true deep stater? And when they break the laws, when they commit mortgage fraud and they commit insider stock trading, why aren't they being criminally prosecuted?
You need me to answer that?
Yes, I do.
Because I was actually pulling up the post that I put in today. So look, when you have the DOJ,
yeah,
and you have people like, because you brought up the freaking auto pen we're supposed to talk about later. When you have, look at Jeanine Pirro. Remember when she was on Fox News? She was talking all that good game, spitting out all that stuff. They's arrested, and I was a judge, and da-da-da-da-da-da. She's the freaking U.S. attorney for the District of Washington.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of pull. But what the fuck? What has she been doing? Nothing.
Wah, wah, wah.
Nothing. The DOJ, crickets. Nothing. Nobody's been doing a whole lot of nothing. So what do you expect? Yeah. I'm going to put this in the chat because I'm just getting it right now. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what's the point of if you see something, say something, if the DOJ always does nothing? Why would anybody do that? What's the point? They want to keep, I might just keep my mouth shut then. They're good for nothing. Every one of Trump's AG picks from his first term till now have been nothing but big disappointments. They haven't done nothing.
No. Yeah.
And now you have to question why. What is going on? Is Trump directing his AG? I don't know. He can tell his AG to, listen, arrest these people, do something. But nothing ever happened. So, or is it somebody else behind the scenes? Is it Susan Wiles? Is it Susan Wiles?
They're blaming right now. There's a story going around that the grand juries, they can't get a true bill. That they're advising the grand juries in D.C. and in other states that if they get sequestered for grand jury duty, and how they know who's getting sequestered and how they're coaching them, I have no idea, because nobody's supposed to know if you get called in for a grand jury. It's supposed to be a thing that's kind of kept under the sheets, right? But somehow they're saying they're coaching them to make sure that they're not going to rule in favor of the bill, which that's what an indictment's called. And that they're saying that when they're being presented with this information, like you saw in Letitia James, that they were already prepared to say no and to not issue the indictment. Now, if that's true, if these grand juries are being, I would say coached, well, then that's a criminal event. You can't coach a grand jury to make a determination one way or the other. If our system is that jacked up, then we need a new system. If you can't count on a grand jury from that state doing the right thing, then I think we're going to have to change the sequestering of grand jury. Maybe we need to pull them in from out of state to different states, because I don't know how we're going to get past this. I mean, the Republicans, look at what they did. Look what they do with, and I always talk about pork barrel legislation and the perks and all the personal enrichment, right? It's all these little greedy pigs. They all want to feed, right? That's why they're in there. They're not there for the $174,000 a year job. You and I both know that doesn't even make any sense with all the travel and everything else. I'm not saying there aren't good people. There are some good people in Congress. But I think there may be good people. I mean, it turns out it looks like Fetterman may be one of the better ones. I don't know. I don't know how he voted on this bill. I didn't look for his name, but all right. So they stuffed in 2026, the Republicans put spending packages in with all these extra earmarks for all their little pet projects. And a lot of them had family members involved, when I point out. That's part of a $15.5 billion with a B in local pork. And that goes across both parties. Now they're rallying. They tell you, we got to cut the waste. But meanwhile, where's all the pork barrel legislation? I just think this is crazy. Massive hypocrites, and they're moralizing frauds. They're breaking every rule. They preach. It goes on and on. They're funding division. They're amplifying hate. Division and chaos is their tool. And they don't want to make America great. They want to make America worse. I think they're destructive traitors. And I think their inflammatory bullshit just breeds so much division across the country. They blame each other, they point at each other, and then when you ask them questions, it's hear no evil, speak no evil, and see no evil. They don't even want to tell anything about it. And I think, there's one category I added at the very end here. I'm going to give you the bonus, and then we can move on. You guys have probably heard me harp around enough. Look at when it comes to this integrity void, swamp scum in Congress, and this is the Republicans and Democrats. They think about this, guys. They have been blocking every real reform when it comes to our elections. They don't want national voter ID. They don't want same-day registration crackdowns. They don't want to control. They don't want to clean the voter rolls. They don't want to make all the chain of custody fixes. They don't want to get rid of the machines. They don't want watermark ballots. They don't want to use blockchain that would pretty much take all this out of it. This is a sloppy, cheat-friendly election system. You guys know it. It's been rigged. And they've gotten caught. And they always talk about voter suppression or voter racism, but the fraud is just piling up. Listen, you had fraud all over the country. I'm not even going to go through all of it. I've got a list here. It goes Massachusetts and Pennsylvania. And we're seeing more and more come out. But what are they doing? Thune and the rest of them? Nothing. They don't want to fix it because both sides of the aisle are benefiting from the cheating. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and they're telling the American public, safest and most secure election in United States history. You're safe. Don't worry. Your vote counts. How does your vote count when it ends up in a shredder or ends up in a waste bin? And I'm just saying to this is we've got some of the lowest integrity, self-serving scumbags. These aren't the public servants you voted for. They're a corrupt ruling class, and they hate America. That's what it really comes down to. They hate America. They hate Americans. They just want to unite to hide. I think right now we've got to demand term limits. We've got to have better oversight, not from government agencies, maybe independent agencies. All this stock trading, that's got to be banned. And we need full transparency. I'm over it. I'll stop now. But you guys, this kind of shit just pisses
I got to
me
stop you because Real Rat Dog's in the chat. And so anybody from North Carolina, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Rat Dog, you got to start biting people, bite them hard, sending your friends with them.
This is crazy.
Because Islamic Jihad is invading the fucking GOP in North Carolina. That's right. That's her. How has this happened? Her name is Lakeisha Alston. She's a Muslim woman. And she just won the primary for GOP's North Carolina District 22 state Senate seat. Why? Because there's no other GOP that was there. She automatically won it.
How did she run unopposed, George? How did this get through? I don't even understand this.
No. Here's what you forget about that part. How did the GOP allow her to run under the GOP ticket? Because she's not a GOP member. Here's her voting record. She's been voting Democrat. So you tell that they should have just got rid of her. She made
nobody else registered, and she registered 2 days before the filing deadline, and she just walked in unopposed. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, she did it on purpose because last minute, this way nobody would say anything. I mean, listen, I'll give her that. Smart on her part for that part.
But that means that the GOP had nobody to run in that district? They hadn't thought about this? Hey, we better make sure we have somebody to run in that district. They didn't have a bunch of other... she's an automatic winner out of just stupidity and laziness, it seems like. Yep. And she just keeps voting Democrat over and over again, but she's going to run for the Republicans. I don't know what you guys are doing there, man. I don't know what's happening around the nation.
She's in the chat. You can tell Rat Dog something if you want to say it. You're on to her. She says on to you, so.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Rat Dog? How are you? If you guys aren't disgusted by this, you got a clip of this woman, huh, George?
Yeah, I do.
Jeez.
Rat Dog's probably going to want to bite me. What'd she say? I don't live in that district. Running it.
Yeah. It's not
you don't have to run it. You just got to go to the other district and bite them or something, man. All right. Let me play the clip.
I am a Republican. I know that I have been seeing a lot of people with hesitation about the party that I choose to represent just because, growing up, you pretty much do what your family does, what, their beliefs are as far as your party. But like I said, I am matured in my own revelation of what the Republican Party represents, and it looks like me. and just the ideology, excuse me, the ideology of the Democratic Party. I just have gotten away from some of those narratives, and I feel that the Republicans have a better viewpoint in which the direction that the United States and North Carolina, especially Durham, should be in.
Oh shit, I had us muted the whole fucking time.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Sorry, I had us muted. My bad.
So there's a dog that rat dog. She posted this on True Social. You can go check out her post. She's trying to get this dog adopted because this woman went into a domestic violence shelter. The dog was with her ex, and the ex is now saying he's going to stick the dog into a shelter. I guess the dog is very friendly with other dogs. If you're looking for a great German Shepherd, I guess it's well trained, really well behaved animal. Maybe you got an opportunity to bring a dog into your life. I'd hate to see this dog go into shelter. It's a healthy dog, and you know how shelters work. Doesn't get adopted in a certain amount of time. I don't know if it's a kill shelter, but if it is, you know, it's going to have a very limited amount of time. And, you know, people sometimes are cautious of German Shepherds, but this one has a great history based on what Rat Dog told us. So, you know, we can put the link in the chat. Maybe I can dump it over there for you. If anybody in that area, or maybe somebody's looking for a great
What
animal.
link? Link what? Should I post?
Yeah.
I'll put it in.
All right. You know, we probably have to take a short break.
No.
So
we're going to keep going.
All right. Okay. Yeah, because I know you got a schedule.
Yeah, and I just messed up the audio, so I'm kind of pissed.
So we got narco terrorists, you know, being, you know, the U.S. and Ecuador have teamed up. We saw a little bit of it on social media. They're taking decisive action to confront all these narco terrorists, which is smart. There's a lot of them in the country. Let's play the clip, George.
Sure.
We begin tonight with the Defense Department now confirming the U.S. has carried out a land operation against drug cartels in South America for the first time. The Defense Department posting this video on social media tonight. The U.S. and Ecuador launching joint military operations against what the Pentagon calls designated terrorist organizations.
Funny, because no one's talking about that, really.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I found out. I was like, what? I'm like, I thought
I
it was.
didn't even know if it was true when I first saw it.
Yeah, I thought it was AI. And I'm like, I had double checked and I had to look into ABC, who actually put up that video. I'm like, damn, it is there. So I did a deeper dive. Even the military on their website had it up. I was like, oh, damn, okay. Trump's all over the place. Maybe that's why we're a little lean over there in Iran right now. We got people everywhere. But you know who's shitting bricks right now? Kim Jong-un. No. He's looking at Venezuela, Iran, now Ecuador. He's like, damn, Trump really, you fuck around, you find out with Trump. He's been a good boy, Kim Jong-un in North Korea. He hasn't said not one word. Nothing. No missile testing, anything. He ain't stupid.
Yeah, he's trying to keep it on the DL. He loves his hacking organization. He's making billions on hacking people. So, hey, we got a big win. They ought to give the Supreme Court a round of applause for this one, I think. You know, they just handed Trump a massive unanimous win on immigration, George. And I'm loving this because Justice Jackson actually authored the opinion. When was the last time, George, when was the last time they did a unanimous decision? I can't even remember the last time.
Forget about unanimous. Unanimous under a Trump thing.
Yeah, that's even probably unlikely that's ever happened in the history of Trump.
And listen, I'm glad they got this, but Justice Jackson, the dumbest one of the bunch really dumb as bricks, wrote the opinion up. I don't know. I think the other justices like, man, we got to come up with something, and then you got to write something decent. We'll help you write it, Jackson, because they're not looking at you too favorably. It has to be. Come on, man.
She might have used AI to write it because that way it would.
Why would she want to author an opinion where they all voted when she hates Trump anyway?
No idea. But it looks good that, of course, they're now saying that they're favoring Trump's, that immigration judges, those federal courts have to defer to the rulings by the immigration judges, which makes sense to me, but seems like you wouldn't have to take that to the Supreme Court. But there they are once again, burning up our resources. But this will make it a lot harder to protect those so-called asylum seekers.
Oh, so like ones. Judge Bosenberg is like everything he tries to do, he'll get shot down on it because he tries to overturn stuff, this and that. That's right, Bosenberg.
Bosenberg is a true uniparty. He's a judge who get fired. Yeah. This lifetime appointment thing, that's the problem. You end up with a guy like Bosenberg and you can't get rid of his ass.
All right, I got to do this next one, Lance, because this is badass.
No, this is good.
This is badass, everybody. This is guy Aaron Spencer. He's from Arkansas. I don't know if you remember. He was a father who was accused of killing a sex predator that he found with his missing daughter. Right? Guess what? He just won the Republican primary for sheriff of Lonoco County. How do you love that? I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if any predator is on any kid or daughter, especially if it's yours, listen, me personally, you're justified in doing whatever you need to do to that person.
Yeah. If my daughter was missing and I found out that she was being abused by some sex, but he's dead. I'll say it right on air. He's not going to make it.
Might be screwed in Colorado, bro, but okay. Just saying. I know.
I'd probably do it clandestinely. Nobody'd know I did it because I think I've got that skill set, but this guy would be gone. I caught somebody doing that to my daughter. They're done.
It's badass.
They wouldn't find the body in that case. I would just make sure the person disappeared.
I want to play the clip.
Yeah.
Hello, Lone Oak. My name is Aaron Spencer. Many of you know my story. I'm the father who acted to protect his daughter when the system failed. I'm also a husband, a combat veteran of the 82nd Airborne Division, a contractor, and a farmer. And through my own fight for justice, I have seen firsthand the failures in law enforcement and in our circuit court. And I refuse to stand by while others face these same failures. That's why I'm announcing my candidacy to run for Lonoke County Sheriff. This campaign isn't about me. It's about every parent, every neighbor, every family who deserves to feel safe in their homes and safe in their community. It's about restoring trust, where neighbors know law enforcement is on their side, and families know that they will not be left alone in a moment of need. Together, we can build a safer, stronger Lonoke County for every family. I'm Aaron Spencer, and I'm running for Sheriff of Lonoke County.
Yep. Hey, got some big news. Shelly Rose is now a monthly supporter. Shelly, thank you so very much. We appreciate that monthly support. It adds up. It's only $5, and for us, it's a big deal because we're trying to build that base, because you have to have some consistency when it comes to your overhead on these shows, because the overhead, it never stops. Never stops. I bought a new mixer. That was $700 because our other mixer wasn't really doing the job it needed to do. And that's what happens. You end up spending money on tech. So, Shelly, thank you so very much. We appreciate you joining us. Joining the Big Mig Mafia. Now you're a friend of ours. Okay, Trump. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader of Iran ends up dead. You got to love this guy sometimes. I don't love him all the time. I don't love a lot of people in his administration, but I love some of his comments that come off the cuff. That's the New Yorker. Let's play the clip.
What media?
It's media number 7, bro.
Oh.
Just short, 15 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
And their leadership is just rapidly going. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader, they end up dead. And it's an amazing thing that's taking place.
Now, this next report, I don't know how accurate, I always want to make sure we give you guys the right info, but it looks like, from what we've researched so far, we made a couple of calls on it. U.S. officials have confirmed now that thousands of Israeli and American-backed Iraqi Kurds have launched a ground offensive in Iran. Now, there is some opposition to this, and I want to share both sides of it. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Is it true? I don't know. The Iranian Kurdish group Kamala, they're denying reports that launched a ground offensive into Iran, but there's other details that appear. Maybe they're just trying to be clandestine. It looks like it's going on. So it looks like some of the ground forces that are going to start operating in Iran are just jumping in on the sides of the Americans. I don't know what the impact will be. I don't know if it's 100%, but maybe watch social media, pay attention on Telegram and everywhere else. If you catch something, you can share it with us and we'll update people, but that's something that I think is important. Looks like President Trump's just announced another endorsement, but it's, of course, that Texas Senate race, about what he did, but now he's going to ask Ken Paxton or Rhino John Cornyn to drop out. I don't know what the result of that would be. I don't think either one of them are going to drop out. Paxton said, I'm staying in the race. I don't think Cornyn's going to operate any differently. Let's play the clip from Ken Paxton.
Yes, it was, and by the way, I spent $5 million versus 100, and there've only been 2 U.S. senators that I know of that lost a primary in the last 40 or so years because the finance rules are so rigged in favor of the incumbents and so limited for challengers. But I think Richard Lugar lost and Bob Bennett lost to Mike Lee, so it's a pretty unusual thing to take on an incumbent and actually do well against them, and we're going to do really well in the runoff.
So when you look at the vote, 60% of the people who voted last night voted against Cornyn, though he's been in office for a long, long time, 4 decades. What do you make of that? What message does that send? And what message do you want to send to the Republican base? President Trump said he's going to make an endorsement. Whoever he does endorse should drop out. I have a funny feeling you don't drop out under any circumstance.
No, I'm staying in this race. I owe it to the people of Texas. I've spent a year of my life campaigning against John Cornyn because John has not represented the people of Texas well. He's sided with Joe Biden on Second Amendment restrictions. He's sided with Joe Biden on bringing Afghan refugees to settle here without vetting them. But he's been against Trump in both of his elections, said he shouldn't run last time, that his day had passed. And, of course, he fought him on the border wall. He's been an amnesty guy. Everything that Trump stood for, John Cornyn's fought. But he was a big help to Joe Biden. The people of Texas, at least the Republicans, would like something different.
Yeah. Well, I like Ken Paxton. Hopefully he's going to be the one to stay in. I don't know what Cornyn's going to do, but I bet he's not going to abide because, of course, why would he want to give that up? It's really interesting. I want to talk about the auto pen for just a minute. The conclusion they've come up with, I don't completely get. I don't know how people that weren't necessarily authorized to use the auto pen, that you could just run it. So if I got access to the White House, my question is, how is it possible that I could just run in there and use the auto pen? But that's what they're basically saying. They're basically saying that the DOJ has abandoned the, going after the people that use the auto pen unlawfully, in my opinion, because there's no legal basis. There's no hook for prosecution. I guess using an auto pen itself isn't inherently illegal for a president to use. And maybe the precedence is there, but I just don't understand that if I walk in and use the auto pen, so basically, I guess I could have walked into Joe Biden's office and I could have used the auto pen in a presidential standard manner, and I would have committed no crimes based on what the DOJ is saying in the DOJ's review. I mean, you guys, does that sound reasonable to you, George? I think George and I would have liked to have gotten control of the auto pen. I would have loved to have had control of one of those 14 magic money computers. Through the auto pen, I could have authorized George Ballantine will get number 15 in the magic money computers. He'll be able to use it for me.
No. Janine Pirro and her crew said they can't find any crime that was committed using the auto pen. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's no fraud, no using it without the approval of President Biden at the time. I mean, I don't know. Those seem like breaking laws to me, but I'm not a prosecutor.
Yeah,
I'm just a guy here on the show.
I should have snuck into the White House somehow, and I should have used the auto pen. I could have given everybody in the Big Mig Mafia. I could have given you guys all USAID grants. Joe Biden, authorized the Big Mig Mafia to get USAID grants of $5 million each if you're part of the Big Mig Mafia. I mean, that's my point. You can just use the auto pen any way you want. So let's here's what I think. I think this is fair. If that's the case,
hold on.
Let me say this. If that's the case, that it's not illegal, then I want an executive action right now by Donald Trump. I want one use of the auto pen for everybody in the audience. You guys get one use of the Donald Trump auto pen. I'm deeming it here on the Big Mig Show. That means everybody gets one. It's like Oprah Winfrey. You all get a use of the auto pen. Everybody gets an auto pen, one-time use for everybody. And you guys can do whatever you want. You give yourself a grant. You can give the Big Mig Mafia grants. You can actually, eject Congress, say that the executive order, we're getting rid of all the congressional members. It's your chance to use the auto pen. Donald Trump, make it happen because it's not illegal. I want to use the auto pen. Go ahead, George. If you guys like that, let us know.
Atomic Ray, I cannot endorse auto pen without consent of the owner.
Yeah.
Craig Muttley, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know. I've seen George question mark. What? I'm trying to figure it out. Sorry, Lance.
That's okay. All right. Well, listen, if you like the show, you know what to do. Take the live link, take the short form, take everything. Just share it far and wide. Use our stuff on your own social media. George is doing a shitload of short form content on Rumble. You can grab that stuff. You can use it any way you want. You can use the link for the Rumble. I mean, George, you went on a tear last night. You're the short form ninja.
Oh my God!
He's like the black belt. He's like a 5-level Dan on short.
I got so many short form content setting off to go into Rumble. I can't even. I was like crazy.
You were crazy last night. He was in the groove. He told me I've lost track. I don't know how many I did. So take that short form.
But there's some funny ones I really put up today too. I've been putting up a bunch of stuff, but
yeah, you're on a tear, bro. I got to give it to you. You've been going on. I was up late. I couldn't sleep last night. I got up in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. and started working. All right, listen. If you got a chance, if you can open up your home or your friend, please share that link for Rat Dog on that German Shepherd. I'd hate to see it go into a shelter. Listen, it's the small things, right? You try to do a positive thing. You know how I am about animals. I just hate to see a good animal end up in a shelter. And if it's a kill shelter and somebody doesn't pick that animal out of fear because it's a German Shepherd, oh my God, here's a great animal based on what the information. You can check it out yourself. I don't know the animal personally. Rat Dog's trying to help. She would take the dog, but she just got a new puppy. So, it's a tough thing. So she doesn't have the room. So if you guys can take that, look at that link at your shelter and share it all over the place. Let's see if we can get this dog a home before it ever gets to the shelter. Be great stuff. The woman is willing to sign the dog over to somebody she's in a domestic violence shelter right now. So she's willing to sign the dog over if somebody will take it.
So shepherd?
Yeah, the shepherd. She'll sign it over. You won't have to go through the whole process. But if it ends up in the shelter, all bets are off, So let's try to do what you can. All right, listen, we love you guys. We appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. If you love the show, do whatever you can. Go over to Chris Pavlovski's feed over at X.
I don't know, Lance. I think you should stop. That's right. You should stop saying that because he might being aggravated. That's why we're at where we're at. I'm just saying.
All right. All right, you guys, listen, we love you. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., Crypto Power Hour, 11 a.m., The Big Mig Show. And then check out the new show that we're doing the production work on and we're working with closely, On the Rocks. You're not following those guys. If you like Barstool Sports and if you like that strong masculine energy kind of show, John Rocker brings it. He's a funny ass son of a bitch too. I recommend you go watch the show. And George, are they going to go kick off on Saturday from here on out? Are they doing Saturdays?
I don't know, bro. Don't.
Okay.
Let them figure that shit out.
Go follow him. Give him a follow. And don't forget to follow Dr. Michael Schwartz's show. He's a great guy. He raids us a lot. Please go follow his show. He's another one you want to support. And man, he's a smart guy and funny.
Rocker is a riot. A bit crude, but LOL.
Yeah.
Go Yankees is right, bro. that's right. Go Yankees.
Yeah. You can
believe me, I keep reminding Rocker about the time where the Yankees beat them in the World Series.
Yeah.
He does. He hate it. Yep. All right. Peace out. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, right?
Tomorrow is Friday.
Crypto Power Hour, 7 a.m. All right, later.
All right.
Peace. Later. Sorry for the glitches and shit. My bad.
I might have to let it drop. Said gotta do hella big, had to put it back again, like said had to put it hella big.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At cspoa.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.